Pranks are meant to be funny, but sometimes they cross a line and go terribly wrong. In this video, we'll look at 5 more real stories of YouTube pranks that ended in disaster. Disturbing events that show the serious consequences of reckless behavior. It was February 5th, 2021 in Nashville, Tennessee. The parking lot of Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park was lively, with families enjoying their evening. Inside, kids laughed and played, unaware of the tragic event about to unfold just outside. Among those at the park was Timothy Wilkes, a 20-year-old aspiring YouTuber known for his prank videos. Wilkes, described by his grandmother as quiet and focused, had planned a stunt with a friend that they hoped would go viral. Unfortunately, their plan took a devastating turn. Around 9:20 p.m., Wilkes and his friend approached a group of strangers in the parking lot. Armed with large butcher knives, the pair pretended to rob the group as part of a staged YouTube video. They intended to capture the group's reactions and turn them into content for their channel. However, one of the individuals in the group, 23-year-old David Starnes Jr., was carrying a firearm. Believing the threat was real, Starnes acted to protect himself and others. He drew his weapon and fired at Wilkes, resulting in fatal injuries. Metro Nashville police arrived at the scene by 9:25 p.m. and found Wilkes unresponsive. Starnes admitted to the shooting, explaining that he believed he and his friends were in immediate danger. As police investigated, Wilkes' friend revealed that the robbery had been a prank for a YouTube video. The setting of the incident, a family-friendly trampoline park, added to the distress. Urban Air Adventure Park, known for being a safe space for families, was shaken by the news. While the event happened outside, the shock spread quickly among those inside, raising concerns about safety in public spaces. To his family, Timothy Wilkes was more than just a prankster. His grandmother, Shirley Berry, described him as a responsible and dedicated young man. Wilkes had worked for years at a Walmart in Hermitage and was studying heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC, to build a stable career. He also served as a role model for his younger siblings and cousins, taking that role seriously. Berry was heartbroken by her grandson's death, mourning not only his loss but also the circumstances surrounding it. She expressed her hope that people would not see him in a negative light, as she had always viewed him as her baby. She admitted to being unaware of his YouTube activities, describing the discovery as a shock. Berry emphasized the importance of families staying involved in their children's lives and urged parents to monitor their children's activities, stressing how dangerous such situations could be. Police confirmed that Starnes was not charged, citing self-defense laws. The investigation, led by the Metro Nashville Police Department, focused on verifying the details of the prank and the events leading to the shooting. A local lawyer explained the situation as a prank that had taken a tragic turn. While no charges were filed, the incident drew attention to the dangers of risky stunts meant for social media. Prank videos involving fake threats, especially with weapons, have gained popularity on platforms like YouTube, despite the significant risks. In 2019, YouTube introduced rules banning pranks that simulate serious threats or cause extreme distress. These policies explicitly prohibit fake robberies and other dangerous scenarios. However, creators often push boundaries to gain views, sometimes with devastating results. The death of Timothy Wilkes is not the only incident linked to dangerous stunts. In 2017, Mona Lisa Perez unintentionally caused the death of her boyfriend, Pedro Ruiz, during a prank involving a gun and a book. Ruiz believed the book would stop the bullet, but he was fatally injured. Perez served 6 months in prison for her involvement. Timothy Wilkes' story is a reminder of the risks associated with chasing online fame through extreme stunts. The decision to stage a robbery prank led to unintended consequences, ultimately costing Wilkes his life. David Starnes, believing he was acting to protect himself and others, made a split-second decision that tragically ended in a loss no one intended. It was November 24, 2021 in California when Trevor Daniel Jacob, a 30-year-old former Olympic snowboarder and YouTuber, set out on a flight that would make headlines. Known for his adventurous personality and online stunts, Jacob departed from Lompoc City Airport in a Taylorcraft BL-65, supposedly heading to Mammoth Lakes. But his real plan was far from ordinary. Equipped with cameras mounted on his plane and a selfie stick, Jacob was about to stage a dramatic and reckless act he hoped would bring him fame. About 35 minutes into the flight, Jacob claimed the plane's engine failed while flying over the Los Padres National Forest near Santa Maria. With a parachute already strapped on, he opened the cockpit door and jumped, recording his descent with a selfie stick. Cameras on the plane's wing and tail captured its nosedive into a dry brush area below. Jacob later showed footage of his landing in poison oak and brush, displaying minor cuts and scrapes. In his YouTube video titled "I Crashed My Airplane," uploaded on December 23, 2021, Jacob appeared shaken but relieved to be alive, sharing the dramatic sequence with his audience. The video quickly gained over 4 million views. However, many viewers were skeptical. Jacob had made no effort to restart the engine, glide to a safer area, or contact air traffic control. Suspicious details like his pre-worn parachute and the strategically placed cameras raised questions about the event's authenticity. Investigations later confirmed what many suspected. Jacob had staged the crash as part of a sponsorship deal to promote a wallet company. His primary goal was to generate views and financial gain. Behind the scenes, Jacob's actions were carefully calculated. He admitted to investigators that he never intended to complete the flight. After the crash, he hiked to the wreckage to retrieve the camera footage, which played a crucial role in uncovering the truth. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, and National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, quickly launched investigations. Initially, Jacob appeared cooperative, promising to share the wreckage's location. But he soon misled investigators, falsely claiming he didn't know where it was. On December 10, 2021, Jacob and a friend used a helicopter to remove the plane's remains from the forest. They transported the debris to a trailer where Jacob later destroyed it. Over several days, he cut the wreckage into smaller pieces and discarded them in various trash bins, hoping to cover his tracks. This deliberate act of concealing evidence was intended to obstruct the federal investigation. The Federal Aviation Administration revoked Jacob's pilot license in April 2022, citing his irresponsible and dangerous behavior. By then, his video had already drawn millions of views, sparking significant backlash. Prosecutors condemned Jacob's actions as reckless and a threat to public safety. They stressed that such behavior undermines aviation standards and encourages others to take dangerous risks for attention. Jacob eventually pleaded guilty to 1 count of destruction and concealment, with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation. On December 4, 2023, he was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison. In court, Jacob expressed regret, admitting his actions were driven by a desire for attention during a difficult time in his life. He acknowledged the harm caused by his choices and emphasized the importance of avoiding the cycle of chasing likes and views. He hoped his experience would serve as a lesson for younger audiences. After serving his sentence, Jacob posted a video claiming to have regained his pilot license and focused on rebuilding his life. Reflecting on his actions, he attributed his poor decisions to the pressures of the pandemic and misguided legal advice. While he attempted to restore his reputation, the incident remains a troubling example of the lengths some individuals will go to for online fame. This case leaves lingering concerns. What if the crash had endangered others? What if the plane had hit a populated area? And what does this incident say about the influence of social media, where risks are often taken for views and validation? It was November 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Raul Rosas Jr., a promising Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC bantamweight fighter, was training at his local gym. At just 20 years old, he had already built a reputation as a rising star in mixed martial arts with a 10-1 record. Fresh off a win at UFC 306 in September, Rosas was determined to climb the rankings and secure a spot in the top 15 of his division. That day, Rosas was on the treadmill, focused on his routine, with his team nearby. The gym was calm until an unexpected visitor entered, a YouTuber from the channel Top Notch Idiots. Known for risky pranks, the channel had a large following, but this particular stunt would end with the prankster facing the consequences of his actions. The YouTuber approached Rosas and loudly asserted that the treadmill the fighter was using belonged to him. He claimed that he ran there every day at the same time and pointed at the machine. His tone was confrontational as he insisted that Rosas move, accusing him of using his equipment. Members of Rosas's team quickly stepped in, warning the prankster to stop provoking the fighter. But the YouTuber ignored their advice, continuing his act with sarcastic remarks and an aggressive stance. Roses, known for his composure, chose to de-escalate by moving to another treadmill. It seemed the situation was resolved, but the prankster wasn't finished. A few minutes later, the YouTuber escalated the situation by removing weights from Roses' area and continuing to taunt him. Roses, now visibly annoyed, reacted to the disruption, expressing his frustration at the interruption to his workout. Undeterred, the prankster followed Roses to a sparring area and even put on boxing gloves, challenging the fighter to a match. At this point, Roses had had enough. He stepped into the octagon to confront the prankster. The match started with the prankster throwing a light punch, likely to keep the mood playful. But Roses quickly responded with a powerful punch that knocked the YouTuber to the ground. He followed up with several strikes until his team intervened to break it up. Despite being outmatched, the prankster got back up and continued to taunt Roses. Roses, fully prepared to end the antics, signaled for him to return to the cage. What followed was a demonstration of professional skill, as Roses overwhelmed the prankster with precise strikes before bringing him to the ground. He ended the encounter with a submission hold, forcing the YouTuber to tap out multiple times. Roses held the submission for a few extra seconds before finally letting him go. When the YouTuber caught his breath, he revealed that his actions had been part of a YouTube video. Roses and his team were stunned by the revelation, initially reacting with surprise. The prankster explained the situation, clarifying that it was intended as a joke for his channel. Despite the ordeal, Roses remained calm and even noted the boldness of the prankster's actions, particularly when he had entered the cage. The incident quickly went viral, sparking debate on social media. Many criticized the prank for being reckless and poorly planned. Some questioned the logic of targeting a UFC fighter, while others pointed out the consequences of pranking the wrong person. The YouTuber walked away with only minor injuries and a viral video, but the situation served as a lesson in boundaries. For content creators, pushing limits for views can lead to dangerous situations. Respecting others, especially professionals like UFC fighters, is crucial. In the end, the prankster learned a painful but valuable lesson. When dealing with someone like Raul Rosas Jr., it's best to avoid crossing the line. It was a typical day in June 2012 in Boca Raton, Florida. But an incident was about to unfold that would ignite debates about the boundaries of online content. Vitaly Zdorovetsky, a 20-year-old Russian-American YouTuber, and his cameraman, Jonathan Vanegas, were preparing to film a prank video. Known for their viral hit Miami Zombie Attack Prank, the pair aimed to replicate its success with a stunt titled Russian Hitman Prank. However, this time the prank would take a troubling turn. The idea was risky. Vitaly, dressed in a suit, would approach a random person pretending to be a hitman. Carrying a briefcase, he would claim it contained an explosive device set to detonate in 60 seconds unless the person ran. The goal was to capture their reaction and then reveal it was all staged. On June 16th, they chose a Publix parking lot in Boca Raton as their filming spot. Their unsuspecting target that day was Andre Brown, a 51-year-old resident. Vitaly approached him with a briefcase, calmly indicating that Brown had 60 seconds to get away from it. Confused and startled, Brown began running alongside Vitaly, trying to comprehend the situation. Shortly after, Vitaly revealed that there was no bomb, and it had all been part of a YouTube prank. Hidden cameras captured everything. But instead of relief or laughter, the prank provoked anger. Brown, already dealing with a frustrating day, reacted furiously. Witnesses later reported that Brown expressed his frustration, citing how the prank had made his already bad day worse. Despite Vitaly's repeated apologies, Brown's frustration escalated. He confronted both Vitaly and Jonathan, physically retaliating against the pranksters. Video footage showed Vitaly attempting to apologize, but his words did little to calm the situation. Witnesses reported that Brown shoved Vitaly to the ground before turning his anger on Jonathan, pulling him down as well. As tensions rose, someone called the police. When officers arrived, they determined the prank had crossed a serious boundary. Jonathan was arrested and charged with creating a bomb hoax, a felony offense. He spent 20 hours in jail before being released. Vitaly avoided arrest at the scene but later faced questioning. In interviews, he expressed regret for upsetting Brown but defended his actions, stating that as pranksters, they didn't fight back. emphasizing it wasn't considered professional. The video, titled "Russian Hitman Prank Gone Wrong," quickly went viral, gathering over 137,000 views in just a few days. However, the backlash was significant. Many criticized the pair for their recklessness, especially given public safety concerns in a post-9/11 era. Using a fake bomb as part of the prank was widely regarded as insensitive and dangerous. This wasn't the first time Vitaly and Jonathan faced criticism for their content. Their earlier Miami zombie attack prank had also sparked outrage. Released shortly after a real-life tragedy in Miami, the video featured Vitaly pretending to be a zombie and chasing strangers. In one incident, a frightened individual pulled out a firearm, nearly turning the prank into a disaster. Despite these controversies, Vitaly continued producing prank videos, often involving elaborate and risky setups. While some appreciated his creativity, others saw his actions as irresponsible and potentially harmful. The incident in Boca Raton highlighted the ethical dilemmas surrounding pranks and the pursuit of online fame. It raised questions about when a joke goes too far and whether exploiting someone's fear for entertainment is ever justified. For Andre Brown, the experience was far from amusing. It was an invasion of his personal space and a disruption to his sense of security. The involvement of law enforcement and resources like the bomb squad also underscored the potential real-world consequences of such stunts. What Vitaly and Jonathan intended as lighthearted entertainment ended up costing time, resources, and public trust. As of today, Russian Hitman Prank Gone Wrong remains a controversial example of the risks associated with blurring the lines between humor and reality. While Vitaly and Jonathan have since moved on to other projects, the incident reminds us of the lasting impact such pranks can have, not only on their targets but also on their creators. It was October 15, 2019 in Irvine, California, when twin YouTubers Alan and Alex Stokes staged a prank that quickly turned dangerous. The brothers, then 23, were known for their controversial prank videos, but this time they crossed a serious line. They planned to pose as bank robbers escaping a crime scene, aiming to record the reactions of unsuspecting bystanders. Dressed in black, wearing ski masks, and carrying duffel bags filled with fake cash, they intended to create chaos for entertainment. A videographer stood by to capture the scenario. Around 2:30 p.m., the twins called an Uber, intending to use the driver as part of the prank. When the car arrived, they jumped in and told the driver their getaway driver bailed on them. The driver, alarmed and confused, refused to drive and demanded they leave his vehicle. A nearby bystander, believing the twins had just committed a robbery and were attempting to hijack the car, called 911. Police responded swiftly, stopping the Uber driver at gunpoint. Completely unaware of the prank, the driver experienced a terrifying ordeal. When officers questioned him and the brothers, the truth emerged. It was all a hoax. Officers warned Alan and Alex about the risks and consequences of their actions, emphasizing how easily the situation could have turned deadly. Despite this, just hours later, the brothers repeated the prank at the University of California, Irvine. Again dressed as fake robbers, they carried their duffel bags and sought help to escape. The act caused panic, leading to more emergency calls. Police, already aware of the earlier incident, had to respond as if this were another genuine threat. Their presence disrupted campus life and created unnecessary risks for everyone involved. The brothers later uploaded a video of the prank to their YouTube channel on October 20th, 2019. Titled "Bank Robber Prank Gone Wrong," the video quickly gained over 1 million views before being removed. In the footage, the twins casually recounted the incident, laughing at the chaos they caused. They joked about the Uber driver's panic and how multiple police cars arrived, guns drawn. Their apparent lack of remorse only fueled public outrage. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer condemned their actions, describing the prank as reckless and dangerous. He highlighted the risks faced by law enforcement in responding to reports of violent crimes and the potential harm to bystanders. According to Spitzer, the twins prioritized internet fame over public safety, showing a disregard for the consequences of their actions. Initially, the Stokes brothers were charged with a felony count of false imprisonment and a misdemeanor count of falsely reporting an emergency. Conviction could have resulted in up to 4 years in state prison. However, After pleading guilty to reduced charges, their sentences were less severe. The felony charge was reduced to a misdemeanor, and the brothers were sentenced to 160 hours of community service, 1 year of formal probation, and restitution payments. They were also banned from the University of California, Irvine, and prohibited from making videos that imitate criminal behavior. Despite the legal troubles, the controversy only seemed to increase their online following. Their YouTube channel grew significantly, gaining millions of subscribers even as critics questioned the societal impact of rewarding such reckless behavior. The brothers' defense team claimed they had no criminal intent and had informed the local police's non-emergency line about the prank. However, this explanation did little to sway public opinion, as many viewed their actions as a dangerous misuse of emergency services and public trust. The incident left lasting consequences. Questions arose about the risks to innocent people involved in such stunts, including the Uber driver who was unfairly caught in the middle. What if law enforcement had responded more aggressively, resulting in harm to someone? What if emergency resources had been diverted from a real crisis? These concerns linger long after the prank ended, serving as a reminder of the fine line between entertainment and public endangerment.